French is the language of love. Oh, say it again, Dexter.
La Fontaine du Jouvence.
Ah.
If you guys have been part of this community for a very long time now, or if you're just joining, you will probably know this guy. His name is Astrocross. I don't even know why I have to introduce him, but he is the man with the hammer, and lately I haven't seen him rocking any type of like Sunbreaker build or anything like that, mainly due to the fact that Stasis is freaking overpowered in Crucible. And you know what? That got me thinking. One, how do I create a functional and fashionable Titan for the Crucible that will be viable in everything from trials to quick play? And two, how do I give him the Sunbreaker aesthetic while also not making him look super basic and just making him rock the whole entire Sunbreaker set? So Guardians, I present to you the nastiest Titan in all of D2. So before we get started, Hunters, I would like to point you over to my Hunter build that I did for you guys a while back. If you guys want to see this amazing build, there will be a link down below in the description or in the top right little annotation. And for you Warlocks, I do have a Time Lost Warlock build for you guys, and dare I say her look is timeless. There's a link down below and in the annotation above. And before I make any more dad jokes, let's go ahead and jump into my Titan build. So going into this, I had two goals. One, make the perfect Sunbreaker Titan, and two, it had to be sweaty AF because I am going to be taking this look into trials, and what's better exotic to take into trials than Titan's Ramparts? And the first thing I did to achieve this look, I ended up using Skelegal, not because everybody uses it or because I really wanted a black shader, but mainly because the oranges that Skelegal gives are like a burnt orange, which really ends up matching all of those Sunbreaker colors. So that's how I'm giving him a like sun-kissed or like burnt look, and I thought it turned out pretty well. So to start this look off, we have to start at the head. Of course, he's a Sunbreaker Titan, so he has to have the Sunbreaker helm, and this helmet is very difficult to work with. Even the rest of the set that it comes with just doesn't look good at all. The Sunbreaker plate mixed together with this, if you're looking at it from like straight on, it looks kind of bad. Like if you look at this set from promotional material, of course it looks dope. It's supposed to look dope at certain angles, but whenever you're starting to just use it normally, it looks really bad. The head just looks awkwardly small, and the head shape doesn't really match the chest shape. So yeah, the Sunbreaker helm, I tend to stay away from it just because it's so difficult to work with. It's a very awkward shape, even though it is one of the classics. And one of the things that I ended up doing to help kind of offset the awkwardness of the helmet was actually using the Virtuous Plate. Now the Virtuous Plate really works for me with a lot more thinner sets, and the Virtuous Plate, in my opinion, also suffers from the same thing that the Sunbreaker Plate does, but like the opposite. The Virtuous Plate is very small and thin, and the Virtuous helmet is very like big and very good for like bulky Titans, so it's kind of like the reverse situation. So if we just kind of combine two very thin armors from sets that don't really match, it ends up making a very good combo. The only downside to using this plate that nobody will notice is the little like saint symbols or the fleur-de-lis. I think those are fleur-de-lis. They kind of are missing a little bit more intricacies there, but yes, I don't like the fact that they stay purple whenever you shade the rest of the armor, but hey, no one's gonna notice. And one of the centerpieces of this build is actually the Titan's Ramparts. So this is an exotic that drops randomly for you, and this exotic makes it so you're able to shoot through your shield, which is just perfect for trials, especially if you're gonna go really try hard and rock DMT right now, or by the next DLC we will have Hung Jury back, so these will also be so freaking perfect to just sit in the back of the map and just gun people down with. Now the thing about these three pieces up here is that they're very pointy. Like even though the Sunbreaker plate is kind of round up here, the general shape tends to be kind of like a weird triangle, and it's very pointy. And the same thing with the Virtuous plate. The Virtuous plate kind of comes down to a point here in the chest area, and Titan's Ramparts of course are just all pointy. It's just a bunch of blades like attached onto you, so I needed some more pointiness to kind of help balance all of that out. One way I achieved that was going with the phenotype plasticity mark, and there are several good things about this mark. One, it helps me with like those sharp edges that the rest of the armor has, because around the belt area it kind of just like sharpens out into like almost like a point, and that matches the Virtuous plate perfectly. And the second thing that I like about this mark is the fact that these little like cloth areas almost come down to like little jaggedy points, which I also very much like. And for my leg choice, I decided to go with the Sunbreaker legs as well, just so we can have a little bit more Sunbreaker pieces in the armor set, because of course he is a Sunbreaker Titan after all, so I needed to use another part of that set in the build. I don't really like the Sunbreaker mark just because it's very hard to shade and there's just a lot going on, so that's why I didn't use that. And for the Sunbreaker arms, also those things are just weird. They're like very pointy around the shoulders, and I'm not that big of a fan of them. But the legs remind me so much of old Destiny 1 armor. So if you are a D1 vet and you are absolutely missing all of those amazing armor sets we used to have, the Sunbreaker legs are a very good choice if you want to kind of go with that aesthetic. Also, another thing I do like about these legs is that it does have that like orange stripe going down here. I know it's the end of a hammer, but it helps kind of balance out all of the orange up at the top of the Titan, because if this was just all black, then it would just kind of be a little bit awkward, if you know what I mean. Now, if I were to criticize my own look, the only issue I would have with this would be the belt right here in the center. It's kind of a little bit too like silverish or grayish, and it kind of throws me off just a little bit. The only good thing that helps kind of deal with that is the fact that there is a little bit of like white or silver around the butt area, but no one's really gonna like see that too much, and I mean no one's really gonna care about a belt buckle really. Now, if you don't have all of these armor pieces, I completely understand, so let's go over some replacements for you. I would not be giving you replacements for the head, mainly because this is a Sunbreaker Titan. You have to use the Sunbreaker helmet, right? That's like the whole entire thing. And the reason I'm not replacing Titan's ramparts is because if we're going to be a Trials sweat, if we're going to rock the Trials emblem and rock all of the Trials weapons and a very AP shotgun build, then we have to be sweaty and use Titan's ramparts. That way we can shoot our messenger through it. Or if you want to rock DMT, that will also work. But I do have replacements for the chest, legs, and mark. So for the chest, you do have a good amount of options actually. One of the options I immediately went to was the Plate of Exile. So this is the old Trials chest plate. If you didn't get the whole entire set, I am so sorry, and I feel bad for you because it is a very dope set and another D1 classic. They don't make them like this anymore, boys. They really don't. And if you can get this to like glow that yellow, ooh, that will be even better. Another replacement would be the Iron Samaki plate. It's just kind of basic. It's just a plate, and I know it has a little bit of round corners here, but it still doesn't really bug me, and it's not really a bad choice. Another Iron Banner plate that would work out pretty freaking well would be the Iron Fellowship plate. It's definitely got a nice collar around here to maybe hide your like neck a little bit, and it's just a very simple plate. It also gives you a good amount of space here in the waist area so you don't look too bulky. Speaking of hiding your neck area, you can always go with the classic Phoenix Stripe Type 0. It's a very good chest plate, and I mean if you have the feathers, I bet those will also look really good, but I don't have the feathers and I regret that every single day of my life. But the fur helps kind of like, you know, give you a little bit of flair, give you a little bit of pizzazz there, and it does provide a good amount of orange, so that's not bad at all. And the last replacement, which I honestly think it's like the weakest of the replacements because it is a little too thin. If you didn't have the season pass bot at the time, you only got this base armor set, and it's not too bad. It does look a little bit naked compared to the other ones, but hey, it's still thin and light and not a bad replacement for you free-to-play players. For the leg replacements, I actually have two. So one of them will be the Iron Fellowship Greaves, and these are just kind of simple. The only downside to these is that the Skeletal shader doesn't really add too much orange or any orange at all to this part down here. So it's not perfect, but it's still a good replacement, and the reason being is because the Virtuous plate has this like pattern going on in the cloth area right there, and that pattern kind of matches the same thing on the legs here. Now for those of you that are very flashy, I don't know if you're gonna like this, but I thought it was very interesting considering we are making a Sunbreaker Titan. If you want the power of the sun in your legs, oh boy, do I have some hot rod flames for you. So this is the Solstice Greaves from the 2019 event, and honestly I haven't found a very good use for these yet until now. The only thing that kind of weirds me out, to be honest with you, is that little cock piece right there, man. It's just awkwardly there, and it just makes you look at it because it's like so orange. But yes, the Solstice effect is very dope, and if you want a very nice, bright, and shiny Sunbreaker Titan, I mean, there is no better way to do it than just literally putting flames onto your legs, right? For the marks, I went ahead and dug out my Wing Discipline mark. The reason I like this mark is because it makes you look so like war-torn, right? Like you've definitely seen some shit. And also with the Skeletal shader, it almost makes it look like it got singed up. Maybe you like threw yourself into a fire just to like kill a Cabal enemy or something. I don't know, but hey, your mark got all singed up and your Titan looks very war-torn with this on. Especially if you go ahead and combine it with the Phoenix Strife chestplate as well, then you're really looking pretty beat up, you know? The next mark I have for a replacement is the Mark of Exile. So this was the first Trials of Osiris mark that we got for Destiny 2, and it was the original Destiny 1 mark as well. It's not a bad mark at all. It also has the freaking sun on it. And actually, if you have a shader that will make this sun part orange, let me know in the comments down below, because I couldn't really find one. And it would be very beneficial to have at least a little bit of orange in here to help balance out the rest of the set. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video because it was really fun making. And hey, if you guys want to talk about some more fashion, I have like a crap ton of videos coming out very soon whenever this DLC drops tomorrow. And oh boy, we're gonna have so many videos coming out. I feel tired just thinking about it, but hey, we're gonna get so many new armor sets. And not only that guys, but we're gonna be talking so much about transmog. We're gonna be making so many sets. We're gonna be transmogging so many things. So yeah, stick around because we're gonna have so many videos coming at you, and hit that like button if you enjoyed this one. And honestly, I'm kind of curious, if you guys believe that maybe I should switch out one of my armor pieces in this build with something else, leave me a comment down below and tell me what that piece is. And if you guys want to show me your Sunbreaker builds, go ahead and join my Discord server. There will be a link down below to that. Guardians, enjoy the new season tomorrow, and as always, stay beautiful.